tanto jugando suelto como en competición. Tanto si se trata de un rápido 9 hoyos o de un gran 36. Tanto si juegas bajo presión o arrasando, siempre das lo mejor de ti. Nuevo Fuel de FootJoy.
All right, welcome inside the Virtual Media Center here at the Cognizant Founders Cup. I am pleased to be joined by the 2022 winner, Minjee Lee. Now, before we get things started, I just want to reinforce, if you have any questions on the Zoom chat, please let me know in the chat function of this call so that I know to call on you to unmute. And we do also have a microphone up here at the front of the room for anyone with questions. But Minjee, I just want to start off. You said as soon as you were talking with Jerry Fultz off the green that this was a day full of hard work. I mean, now that you've had a little bit of time to reflect, what was this final round like for you?
You know, in the very beginning, I missed a couple short putts. I sort of didn't catch that momentum. And then through the middle to the kind of the back part of my round, my ball striking kind of went out the window. So, you know, I fought really hard this whole day, and just to finish with a couple birdies and, you know, just to come out with the win is just really special, and I'm really happy.
A bogey on the front nine in pars. What did you say to yourself when you were making the turn to kind of get it back and rear to go like you have the last couple of days?
You know, to be honest, I was just trying to take each shot at a time. You know, I couldn't really get too far ahead of myself or anything like that because Lexi was chasing me, and we were tied at some point at a point. So yeah, I just kind of just told myself to keep going and just to try and put the best swings that I could on each of the shots that I had and the best strokes on my putter. So that's pretty much what I did.
You got started with the first birdie of the day on number 12, which seemed to be like your favorite hole of the course this week. How much did that help you just start the momentum for the rest of the round?
I mean, yeah, I hit a really good shot in and just had a really easy two-putt birdie. So it was nice just to have my first birdie there, and you know it's quite a easy-ish par 5 to get the momentum going. So I knew there was like 14. There's also par 5, and just if I made birdie there, then I would have a good chance.
You celebrated when you made your birdie putt there on 18. It kind of felt like a bunch of relief of the day, of the grind, just melted off your shoulders. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's how you were feeling when you saw that putt go in?
I mean, I was actually quite calm the whole day. Like my emotion was actually quite just very, very level. So it was just nice just to, you know, win. I think that's why I celebrated, and you know, obviously to finish with a birdie is nice as well.
Of course, it's nice to win the 7th win of your tour career. How does that feel to get your first win of 2022?
I just feel like, I mean, I've kind of been trending. I mean, I've been hitting it really, really well this whole season, and I just felt like it was kind of around the corner. Like I kept knocking on the door, and here I am now, finished with a win this week.
All right, I'm going to open it up on the Zoom to Beth Ann. Beth Ann, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Yes, hello. Congratulations, Minjee.
Thank you.
Well played. I was hoping, speaking of keeping your cool, you could take us through that shot just outside the bunker on number 8, what you were thinking in terms of what you faced, and walking off that green, how you felt having salvaged bogey.
On 8.
Your feet were in the bunker.
Oh, I mean, my tee shot was very average. I didn't think it would have ended up. I didn't know it ended up in that little hump area, so I just thought it was in the bunker. But to be fair, it was quite a simple bunker shot. It was just all kind of running towards the hole. So if I landed it just on, then it would have released to the hole. So, I mean, I was pretty calm even in that situation as well. So I didn't really have to think too hard about it.
Yeah, it looked like that. It was kind of a really tricky second shot. But, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So my next question is, you know, I know you had a fun experience at the Masters with your brother, and I'm just curious what the vibe was leaving there, and if that kind of, I don't know, just how you felt about the whole experience and how maybe it kind of boosted you.
I mean, it was a whole lot of fun. just to watch Minwoo play, it was something different. You know, I don't really get to watch the men or even my brother play that much. So just to be there and to be able to experience the Masters with him, it was really cool. And I was pretty refreshed after that. And then I also had a week off before playing LA. So I could do all my practice and do all my prep before those 2 weeks. So it was just nice to not have to think about my golf, and I was just kind of focused on watching him and, you know, just spending time with him, with Minwoo.
And if I could just ask one more, obviously we're really close to the next major. How much are you focusing on thinking ahead to Pine Needles, and does it feel different going into Pine Needles? I know you've already played in a major as a major winner, but but does your mentality still feel different?
Not really. I obviously want to play well at the US Open. That's one of, you know, my all-time favorite events. So, you know, I'll just go in, you know, I'm going to play in Vegas, so, you know, see how I go there and do a little bit of like playing prep, and, you know, take the momentum into, like the playing momentum into the Open. So I think I'm going to be, you know, I'm still going to be fresh because I have next week off. So yeah, I think I'm going to do all the best prep that I can for the major.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth Ann. I'll take it over to Steve. Steve, if you could unmute yourself, please.
Hey, Minjee, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, some victories, you feel a sense of adulation, and in some you just feel relief. And I'm wondering, given how well you've played this year, if this wasn't one of those situations where you were just like, whew, finally. Can you kind of go through the sense of emotions that you had after the victory?
I mean, I never really got a super high. I just, you know, after I hold that last putt, I was, you know, really happy, obviously, and I have been playing really well, and so I'm just proud of myself, just that I played 4 days of really good golf, and I was able to fight through this round and come out with a win.
Speaking of fighting through it, were you aware of how well other people were playing, not just in your group, but around the golf course? And if so, how do you keep from pressing in that kind of situation?
I mean, I really didn't have the time to worry about what other people were doing today. I mean, I was just really kind of focused on my game and how I could make a birdie, or how I can hit it close to the hole to have a good look at birdie. But I knew where I was because I looked at the leaderboard and I knew everybody was playing pretty well. And obviously Lexi was tied. We were tied at some point. So I knew where everybody was, even though I wasn't too focused on it.
Great. Thank you.
All right, I'll open it up to the room.
You said you were calm out there. Was it hard to kind of not get ahead of yourself when you were coming down the stretch and you did get your lead back?
Not really. I mean, I knew I had to make a few birdies to, regain the lead and obviously take my lead into the 18th hole. And on the 17th hole, I hit a really good shot, and I also hit a really good putt, but it didn't drop. So I just told myself, just hit a good drive down 18, and that's all I could do. So I pretty much just try to stay in the moment and just be focused on the shot that was ahead of me.
And there were some times when you were the only one in your group that was hitting those fairways on the back nine. When you were waiting to actually take your shot, what were you trying to focus on, your placement, or are you just trying to step away from the game a little bit?
I mean, I was more focused on just the spots that I wanted to hit. I wasn't really focused on what other people were doing, to be honest. I mean, they were able to hit to the green anyway, so it wasn't too much trouble. So I wasn't really paying too much attention.
All right, Rick?
You seem to be very even-tempered on the golf course. Is that something that came naturally to you, or is it something that you had to work at?
No, I've always kind of been very even-tempered, very calm. I'm not really too emotional. But I wish I could show a bit more of my emotion, but this is just the way I am.
The other question, Australia's produced so many wonderful golfers of both genders.
Yeah.
How do you avoid putting pressure on yourself to match what they achieved or match other people's expectations?
To be fair, I mean, I think everybody is, special in their own way. So I just do the best that I can in every situation that I have on and off the golf course. And I try to take the expectation as motivation. So I think that's the best way you can take it anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know Beth Ann has another. Beth Ann, if you could unmute yourself, please.
Yes, I was just wondering if you had any special memories with any of the founders.
Not really. Just I've only really known Shirley, but she was always. She always spoke to me and gave me a big hug when she saw me. So that is probably she's the only founder that I kind of have memories with.
Thank you.
Thanks.
A couple of quick questions. On the fourth hole, that was a short birdie putt?
Yes, it was very short.
What happened?
It lipped out, but I probably hit it a bit too hard. Just too hard.
Okay. And on the bogey on 8, is that a good bogey in the sense that...
I obviously didn't hit a good tee shot, and I put myself in that situation, but it was a pretty difficult second shot, so to come out with a bogey, I think it's minimizing damage. Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, you talked about how hard you worked this round. Can you remember maybe a round that, on the tour or towards a win that you've worked this hard or grinded as much, you feel like?
I feel like just situationally, like it was in the final round and in the final group, so I think there was a little bit more pressure that I probably put on myself. Maybe that's what made it a little bit more harder, but I don't really remember the last time I worked this hard for a win, but I don't know. This is probably the first time. New experience.
And that makes it even more satisfying, you think?
I think so. I'm pretty proud of myself, how I came out today. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just want to kind of ask about, you said you've been trending in the right direction. Obviously, that's kind of culminated into today. But looking ahead, we've got the meat of the calendar coming.
Right.
Up. How much confidence does a win like this, your recent play, give you heading into what's really our major season?
I'm super excited for the events coming up. We have a really great stretch with the US Open, the KPMG Championship, and I feel like I've been hitting it really well, and with my putting, I've been working a lot more with that. So I feel like I've done pretty good. I've done better this week, and obviously there's always room for improvement. But I think if I work on the same things, and I think I'll be in pretty good shape.
You talked about being proud of yourself when it's not going your way and maybe you're not playing the way you want, or some of those putts aren't dropping, and you're able to get this win when, it's a pretty high pressure situation. You're playing alongside Alexi. Just what does that do for you mentally moving forward?
I think, for the most part, I have a pretty good attitude when I'm on the golf course. But today, I did have a great attitude, but I just really stuck with what I knew, and the birdie on 14, I think really kind of gave me a little bit more confidence just for those final few holes. So I think mentally I was in a quite good headspace. It was just more my iron play that I kind of struggled a little bit on the back nine. So I feel like I did a pretty good job in that aspect.
Why number 14?
I just think because I was tied with Lexi at that point, and then I got to 18 under and I knew the last 4 holes would be tough to make birdies on, so I just kind of figured that if I made birdie on 14, it would give me a pretty good chance to be leading or tie lead going into 18. So I think that's what kind of like turned the tables a little bit then.
And then one more from the Zoom, but what specifically, you talked about working on your putting and how that's something you're focusing on. What specifically have you been working on in your putting?
Just getting the speed right. I feel like sometimes I struggle with the speed, and obviously if you don't have your speed, then you don't have the right line. So I think just matching the line and the speed together, that's kind of what I've been working on the past couple weeks.
All right, I think that will wrap it for us here. Thank you, Minjee, and
Thank
congratulations.
You. Thanks.
El nuevo Pro SL no tiene clavos, pero tiene un agarre increíble, con una plancha de carbono adicional para optimizar el retorno de energía y un nuevo y moderno diseño. El zapato original de máximo rendimiento sin clavos tiene algunas ventajas importantes.